Hello, we're here. We're late, but we're here.
We are. We were early and then got distracted.
Yeah, we were ready to go, and then we got off on a little
Not
topic.
us. Not
And
us
then I
being
see the good
distracted.
mornings. I'm like, we're
Hi.
late. I'm like, we better hit that go live button. um, Hello, everybody. So we are going to revisit that Bonaventure Cemetery that Melanie has been so kind to mail us pictures again. And bear with me. So our streaming platform here that we use only lets me load up 10 pictures at a time. So I've got quite a few of the nighttime pictures. Right, sticking to witchy time again. So when we want to compare some daytime, I'll have to like remove a couple of the nighttime, reload daytime. So bear with me as we go through. But I will say, and Kayla, I didn't know if you got around to looking at the nighttime versions from that veteran part of the cemetery. Those are so cool. I think they're my favorite, whether or not there's any ghosts.
Really quickly.
And I'm like, those look so cool. And because I'm the weirdo, I'm like, that's the type of photo or picture I would use as like a background to something because it looks so neat.
Well, those are the ones I said that looked like the cemetery by me, right? That was in the veterans.
I think so. And because we only have 3 of those, wait a minute, why is my do not fucking bother me not working? Hang on, let me turn on that so we don't have to listen to all the alerts coming in. So if you guys remember, there was a veteran section and there was like a really cool outcrop of some trees off to the side, but it looked like it was kind of enclosed. And I'm like, I would like to go over there and talk to those trees and see what little elemental beings, hang around there. And Kayla, I believe you said that the military, the soldier ghosts or, whatnot in that area, just kind of like the quiet, they don't really want a bunch of people coming around and sightseeing them. But they had the really cool overhang trees, right? What? Okay, so we've got 2 of them loaded because I'm like, what? No way. Where's the? I'm like, oh yeah, we couldn't get them all up there. But here, here's the first one, and I'm like, it looks so cool, and all of the little orby things going on in there. And yes, I know it's nighttime, and you can have bugs, and you can.
I'm pulling them up on my tablet so I can see them too. So
yeah.
Did we lose you?
Did
we lose our
so.
leader?
Who, me? Did you lose me? I'm here.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
So Melanie says her husband took this one. So many cool things going on here. I just like the aesthetic, honestly, with or without any ghosts.
Spirits and orbs and
yeah. But I will say in the upper left-hand corner, there's that slight, bluish gray compared to everything else being yellows, sepias, I thought was really neat. But Kayla, since you do a lot of photography, I'll kick that over to you. Like, hey, what might you be seeing there?
So, of course, there's always things that can happen with photography and angles or pictures of pictures, right? We went through that last time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this, to me, this feels like command. Like, I feel like there's a lot of command coming to that part. And then the other ones off to the right-hand side are coming to see what's being said. It doesn't feel fully structured, like fully military, but it's like definitely a leader of them, of some, because I don't feel like they're all from the same place at the same time. But there's definitely like a source of command that they are gathering around.
Yeah, this was taken in the veterans, so it makes perfect sense.
About I felt I needed to pay more attention. Like I was like, oh, okay, I should pay attention to this. Really, the ghosts.
Right. Here's another one.
This one I love.
Yeah, this is. I just love the way it looks.
Right.
but again, a lot of orbs, and there are quite a few that look like they have little patterns in it. And guys, I do have actual pictures. So is this a picture of a picture? Yes, because I had to take a picture of it to get it loaded into the computer. But it's not like it's a picture of a picture of a picture of a picture.
Right. We have the real things.
Yeah. I love these.
I have a question for Melanie. Was there a storm before or after this, even like the day before or the day after, like where the pressure would have been changing, humidity, that kind of thing? Not just for the sake of this could be humidity particles, because that's not really what these look like. That would be more mist looking. Just for the fact of the energy buildup that spirits can, feed off of. Okay, so it was clear. So that was just one of my things. I know you've experienced that, Melissa, where like storms will actually help build up the activity of things or make them stronger so they can present them better.
Yeah. And I think even Marianne has said that sometimes some of the severe weather, don't quote me on that. I know she says full moons can kind of give them a little more energy. And that's kind of what we were debating offline before we came, was like the power of full moon versus sun and everything else. So that could be a whole other topic, because it started with Mercury.
Does what and how does it affect you?
Yeah.
I'm still blaming it for things.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm trying to remember what Marianne even said about severe weather or, severe storms, if they can play a part. But I would like to think they can, right? Because it's
they definitely do.
Moving, it's moving a lot of stuff around, and that is energy. So I just love the aesthetic, of this picture. And she said it was after a tour.
I feel like they're all going to take watch. Like they're going to watch over their loved ones. It's like they're all leaving at once. They're all going to disperse and do their own thing. So they're not following like a structure like we would think of military formation, right? It's like they're okay. We're done with this now. We can go take care of our loved ones. We can go do this. We can go check on, we can go check on Gracie. We can do all these things, right? It's like I feel like they all have a job that they're going to do, and you just happen to catch them in their rounds, basically, of getting ready to go do what they were going to do. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, intuitively, and using a camera also, like, if you would be able to track a group of them in their movement through the cemetery or leaving the cemetery. I feel like that'd be pretty a neat thing, because I feel like that's kind of what is happening there.
It's like they got their weekend pass and they're leaving base to go do their thing. But very cool. Like I said, I keep saying, like, I just love the aesthetics of the pictures. Very neat, very neat. Here is another one. Like that could almost, like at a quick glance, look like, wintertime snow, but it's not. Very, very cool. And again, and some of these, because it's such the first After Hours tour. Do they do nighttime tours through the cemetery? That would be very interesting to see. I'm sitting here like, okay, which ones have we shown versus which ones do we need to see? Yeah, this pic was taken in.
So I feel like some of the things in here. We're talking too. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, right, Amy. Like I love these ones, and sometimes they do after hours nighttime tour. So that's very cool that they're willing to do that. Yeah, we're gonna look really good at Gracie. I wanted to do these ones first because they were my favorite, and there were fewer of them. So I wanted to make sure that we got through these. We've got one more to look at, and then we'll get into Miss Gracie, because Kayla, you and I both aren't in like a super duper hurry that we have to leave at 11 today, right? We're
11:15 for me, but yeah.
Okay.
So,
right. I think everybody's like, this one's my favorite.
That's okay. We don't have to like super rush.
Yes, like good job, hubby, on the pictures. Like I approve. We all approve. And apparently this is everybody's favorite. And one more to
Right.
show. Um because I like the idea that it shows like a walkway, a road.
So this
And
one, I feel like definitely some weather. We're both.
yeah, this one almost looks like you're walking into like a little
So I
fairy
definitely feel
moment.
like there's some dust particles. Oh,
Would we ever consider having a look over some existing known famous go pics? Yeah, we could do that. We would just have to be careful about rights. If they're open domain, then that's not a problem. If they are like owned by anyone or any organization, that's where it can get a little tricky. But Melanie says no. These are all taken on the same night, clear, no weather before or after. I would dust wise, I would say because it is more of there's a lot of stuff on the ground, right? So maybe some of that, but there are quite a few that have designs in them. So I think we have a mix of, some dust, maybe some soldiers walking
there's definitely
around.
some weather. Like there's some definitely like weather and dust related stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely a mix
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. And she's like, good clean lens. Um,
Well, in the air, like it'll be floating in the air. Yeah.
so very cool aesthetic looking, even though I know what they weren't taking for aesthetic, but very cool. Sebastian said dance party dots. Hi, Sebastian. Chair says, I'm pretty sure for critique and education purposes, you can pretty much use anything. Yeah, it can be a little tricky sometimes legal wise. He took the 4 picks at random, which is kind of cool, right? Because I know there's been times where being in a haunted place that's known to be haunted, and you're like, oh, the ghost is known to be on the staircase, so let me take pictures. And sometimes I feel like the ghosts get tired of being a horse and pony show, so they're like, you know what, I'm not going to stand there, screw your picture, like leave me alone.
That's how we all feel, isn't it? We're done performing for you. Party's
right,
over.
right. Yeah, I agree. Random picks are the best. So I think your hubby like got some really good picks just by randomly shooting and getting a really cool aesthetic for it. I love that little ghost emoji. That's adorable. Okay, now we're going to go into some of the Gracies. So let me remove a few of these so we can get up in there. Let's start from a distance and maybe work our way up. And when I saw that,
I'm
and
trying
I'm
to
like,
figure out if it's my internet or what's going on, because I keep losing you guys. Everything keeps cutting out, and I'm not sure if it's me or if it's both of us.
yeah, guys, let us know if we both are cutting out or if it's one more than the other. We were also talking about that before we went live because Kayla kept losing me, but I would see her kind of be a little jerky,
Right.
like it was trying to buffer. Chair says seems okay so far. Melanie says this picture was taken without a flash. So that would negate, that brightness on the statue because she is not, if you correct me if I'm wrong, like a bright white marble. It's more of a gray. And we'll get to more of that. And Amy says all good for her. So
okay.
That is
I can't tell. Like I keep trying to talk, and then all of a sudden I can hear you talking. Like it looks like you're not talking. So so I feel bad because I can't.
She says there's no lights, so there's no lights around to be shining. So I do love the orb that's showing up right above to the left. And I love how the whole picture is nice and clear, except right in like that upper part, that it's that little bit blurry. The chair's like, we are successfully summoning you both. So we look good to them. So I think StreamYard is doing its job.
As we vaporize out of our seats.
Yeah. That's one reason why I use StreamYard, because it records us separately and puts them up separately and kind of helps negate things that we might see on our back end, but it looks good to you guys. So yay, it's doing its job. So yes, there's no lights around to be shining on her to cause it to be that bright white. Now, do you think Gracie's kind of making an appearance right there to give that blurry spot right in front of her?
I do. Ooh, geez. Yes. So when I was looking at some of the pictures you sent, because I only had a few minutes to look through them, yeah. So I feel like that's her, and I feel like, see how there's the two orbs like to her, it would be her upper right, but on her left hand side as we're facing her. Yeah. I feel like those are her parents.
Huh. That's adorable.
So, I know. I was like, when I saw that one, I was like, oh, that's so cute, because it's like they're both just standing right there, like over her.
Mm-hmm. Now, were these kind of random, Melanie? Were you like, hey, I'd like to take your picture and announce it? Or were you just kind of like randomly, just seeing what you could get? So she says, people leave her toys all the time. Okay. Yeah. So I always ask to take pictures. I know some people really like to do that out of respect.
Right.
Now you guys do quite a bit of photography, so proper technique, proper making sure your lens are clean, things like that. Because I do see that other comment. Keeping an eye on for trolling. So even if you disagree, do it in a respectful way. Don't be a dick, or you will get booted. We don't play that
after you. No, I mean, there can be dust, but it'll look different. Even from a nature photography standpoint, if you have dust on your lens, it definitely looks different than if there's dust in the air.
So we're getting a little closer.
Like the one back a couple pictures, there was definitely, like, you could tell that it was dust in the air.
Yep. So we're going to get a little closer. And that little, I don't want to call it a smudge, right? But it almost looks like she's standing and she shifted just a little bit off to the side. We don't see that, that orb again. And just, I'm sitting here like putting aside the ones that we have looked at. So when I load them up, we don't go over the same one again. And again, right. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Thank you, Chair. Oh, Sovereign. Nobody's got hurt feelings. We just don't tolerate that crap. So
it's pretty hard to hurt our feelings.
Yeah. We are too old and cynical for hurt feelings. We just respect everybody who comes in here into a safe space. So instead of making trollish comments about, ooh, it looks like crap all over the image, how about you like, hey, was your lens clean? Come in with respect, or don't come in at all. So let's see. We're going to get a little bit closer to Gracie. Let me make sure we're pulling up. And of course, they don't always load up on the back end stage in the order I put them in. So Again, it looks like she's kind of still standing there. I'm assuming it's her, right? Because why else would another spirit want to go stand in front of somebody else's grave unless they really want attention?
This one I definitely pick up more light glare from it than the other one. So even if you're not using a flash or a flashlight or lighting of some sort, images can, especially when it's really dark and there's something really light, it can make a halo around it. The other one felt more like a presence to me. So I'm not picking up the same exact heavy, not that it was heavy, not dark heavy, but it was like a really intense sensation of her being there and her parents. So this one I don't have the same exact feeling of that. The other one's just a lot more, it's very clear about that. This can definitely lean more towards the image, you know, the way the image was produced through the camera or phone being used.
Gotcha. So I'm going to boop-a-doop. Let's see. I was looking for our daytime. Unfortunately, the ones that you sent back over to me were the nighttime ones that I sent you last night. So, because I know we had, well, we'll flip through. I've got daytime on one side and nighttime on the other. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. So this one looks to be about the same distance away. Let me pull that one out.
So Sherry asked a question about, yes. So I'm going to answer Sherry's question while we're looking at that. So they both pick up things. They can definitely pick up things differently. It's hard. Phones now are really good at actually blocking things out that don't belong in the images or altering backgrounds of things. So I honestly feel like as far as paranormal photography goes or trying to catch things when you're out doing like a tour of some sort, the newer phones are actually not your best friend for this because they are going to, with audio recording and with imaging, they're going to automatically alter things, and there's AI and all that stuff. So I feel like your older cameras, your film cameras, the more basic DSLR cameras are your better way to go.
Mm-hmm. So comparison about the same. So to show again that tomb is not that bright white that it was looking at night in those other pictures. So it's more of that monumental light gray.
Right. But there's things, so like the way some stones are made, concrete, even wood things, metals, the way they come through in an image, especially if it's a digital camera used, sometimes they do automatically pick up like I don't know if you'd really call it a reflection. It's just the way that they come off in pictures. I have some pictures of like a really cool stone railing in the night with some stars. So if it's not a slow enough exposure, it'll actually create like a glow around it. And like cell phones, unless you put it into pro mode, you're not going to have the slow exposure. So those things can definitely, there's like a lot of factors as far as photography goes that can create like this glowing aura or rim around certain types of materials. Even plants will do it too.
Really? Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like we should do a mini section on the live and be like, okay, from Kayla, who does, here's the settings to look for on your camera, on your phones, or, like, hey, make sure
that's the thing. Like the settings change, like depending, like if there's a full moon, if you're near a city. So like your camera settings would have to change based on, so like I have Northern Lights photos, right? If you're anywhere near, even if it's like a light, like the headliner light on in your car, but it's behind you and you have a slow enough exposure, you'll actually pick up a beam of light coming out in front of you, even though you're shooting like the opposite direction from it. So it can be really frustrating. And sometimes like when you look back at your pictures, like, oh, that's really close. Like, oh wait, no, there was like a light on behind my car, or somebody pulled into this parking lot and drove by. That's what created this like streak of light. So it can really depend on how the picture's actually taken. The weather, the moon, the stars. It could be a street light from like 2 blocks away, but if it's bright enough, light pollution is like a really horrible thing for night photography. So it shows up for very long ways, longer than you would expect, and far longer than you see with the naked eye.
I want to show her little informational stone, um, because it was interesting that there is like that spot right in the middle. Because
The
at first
blur
I
in
was
the
going through
middle.
and I'm like, oh, we've seen
Right.
it, but we have shown it
Right.
before where there is no
No blur.
defect,
Right.
in there. So are you picking up anything, sanding
So this is
or
like a
anything?
good point for that. Honestly, I actually feel like it's a dog. That was the first thing I picked up. Like, oh, there's a dog sitting there, and I was like really excited about it. So that was what I saw with that versus a person. But this is a good example of that, like how clear. So like how white that stone looks, and there's like a little bit of like off to the right hand side. There's like it kind of looks like it's glowing, but you can clearly see the smeared energy across the middle of it.
Right. Hello.
Hello, in Sri Lanka.
um, and I'm assuming this is by her gate. Again, no lights. So,
Were you using a night mode for the picture? I mean, if there's no lights around, this is really bright for that. So, what like were you using a cell phone? Were you using a camera?
no.
Okay.
But I thought that was interesting because, again, at first I was like, "Oh, we've seen that," and then I'm like, "Wait, whoa!"
There's a blur. I saw the blur right away. Yeah, but I
Um,
see a dog sitting there, like a brown and white dog sitting there.
she, a Nikon digital camera is what she's using. Maybe I need a. So the next one I want to show. Bear with me. I think I have to load it up because it's not here. do. Let me find it. I think it's this one because they're so much smaller. There we go. So I will say, ignore the stuff in the upper corners. I had a challenge in trying to get these to Kayla last night with the bad lighting in here. I kept trying to find a way to take the pictures without overhead lights and stuff in the windows. So ignore the funky stuff in the top corners because that's the lighting here.
Right. So there's a difference between like the first one that you had with like the hazy corner on it when we were at the veteran section and this one. Like there's definitely a difference of appearance and like this form of it and the energy of it for that matter.
Yeah, there were a couple that I had to crop a little bit to get rid of as much of the light distortion from here as I could. And honestly, on the screen right here, it does look a little brighter than what the picture is. And I'll hold that up because of the lighting. And if you look up in that top corner, you can see like my books behind it because I was sitting it up. I'm like, let me put it on the bookcase. That way there's a shelf over to block this light and try to. So there were a couple that I had to crop a little bit to take out the distortion that happened here with me taking the picture to be able to send them over to Kayla for her to look at last night. There's not as much, that blurry, image of her in front of it in this one as there were of the others. Here is, and again, I have an above light, as you can see in the light in front of me, but it is slightly darker. And I think I had it cropped to about here, but she's not as blurry in front. It actually, there's no blur really going on here as you got closer. Summer's asked, do you use a UV filter on the lens? And she's like, no filter. Do you use any sort of filter, Kayla, when you're doing yours?
It depends on what I'm doing because there are different filters. There's CPL filters, UV filters. There's different kind of filters, whether it's indoor images based on the lighting. Nighttime, not necessarily, but typically UV filters are like your day-to-day one, just because it stops like light reflections and things like that, or helps with them. So on a photography standpoint, there's some things definitely like nighttime photography is a really hard thing. So usually like something like that would you use like they call it light painting or light washing, so you could get the bright image with the dark background still. So I am curious about being so dark, how the images were so light, because there has to be some sort of setting, either whether it's automatic in the camera. That's how I prefer to. So some of the things with like, not all filters are like filters like you think of digitally. There's like lens filters that go on that actually help. Like if you're shooting over water, so you're not getting water glare. If you're shooting at rainbows and you're trying to get the more vibrant colors. So there's different filters that way for things, not just the ones that we think of like on phones that you're taking pictures, like a digital filter. So this gets complicated. Like you said, it could be a whole nother show. But as far as like average nighttime photography, like just taking a picture out in the dark, you're going to get a dark image or very limited things. So I'm just curious. I would like to know more about the camera settings that's making it so bright, because there's something that's making it's hard to explain how to know. So spirit wise, I can feel if there's spirit in the pictures, right? So there's that part of it.
Right.
But as far as like the imaging part, there's definitely settings in cameras that can create this glow. It's just like a light reflecting off of materials, or the camera trying to overproduce the image. But night photography is a pretty tricky thing.
Yeah, she's like, I no longer have that camera. It was stolen years. I'm sorry. Some jerk did that.
There. Had that happen. Do you have the originals that would tell you? A lot of times when you have the original picture, it'll say like on the actual file information, it'll tell you like it'll actually say what camera, what model, what image settings.
Oh, in the metadata that's attached to it.
Yeah.
Sabra says, I've been filming daily for the past 9 years. The only time I get this effect is with filtered light from above, dirty lens, or UV filter. It's very strange that your clean lens has the same accents. And that's where like getting into like Melanie knowing like what she was using, and Bonaventure Cemetery, which is where all these pictures are coming from, is known to be really, really active and, haunted. So, that's where the discussion kind of comes in. It's like, how much is camera settings, filters, light pollution versus like spirit showing up?
There's the one picture that I can't remember if it was the path or the one that you showed before that. No, it was the one before you showed the path one. That you could see the difference between the orbs and the dust. Like that was a really good image. Honestly, it was like a really good learning image to tell how like the atmosphere versus the spirit were presenting themselves.
I think we should do an episode on like camera settings and photography, and we could use that one and like we could load it up. I can have you like circle and be like, those in red are dust here, why these over here are spirits, and like purple or whatever. And I think for our friends here who have an interest that would like to be able to go out and maybe try to take pictures of what to look for, what to use. And, Melanie and even Sovereign, who have experience doing this, share what they've used and what, maybe what worked, what didn't work. And, Kayla, I wish you had lost those pictures that you took up in Maine, because those would have been newer ones with a more new camera that using this camera, here's what I caught using this, doing this.
You mean the images that the natives took back from me on my native homeland?
Yeah, we were not showing those.
I'm not going with you. Let's just crash your camera.
Denied.
I'm looking for that picture that you had up there, because it was a really good example of. You showed the path one.
Was it the one? Let me see. I'm going to remove some of the Gracies so I can load up some of those.
This one's like trying to show my phone on the phone. So there's like a little bit of the path, and I think maybe that's Gracie in the background. I can't really tell.
This
you can
one?
see a little bit of a metal fence, the wrought iron fence around there.
Wait,
no.
Not that one?
No. There's brighter. There's like bright green plants low on the. That's not working very well. Sorry, I'm like blinding everybody. It has like lower plant, like green plants off to the right, to the left hand side. And then there's like a monument, like kind of just above the green plants. And then there's like a dirt walkway. But there was another one you had that you couldn't really see the walkway unless it was just cropped that way. But this one also, you can see where there's, okay. So this one you can also see where there's definitely dust particles versus the orb type images and, well, depictions in there.
Now I'm sitting here and I'm like, why do I not have that one on my computer?
There's definitely people, I mean, you have to take into account that if there's a breeze, even if it's so gentle, you don't necessarily feel it. It still can stir up dust if it's really dry out. Mold spores can show up, honestly. If it's raining and then there's mold and then you think it's a nice, calm, dry day, that can be mold spores going through. So there's definitely, this one's okay. This one's fine enough because you can see the difference between, like further back there is where it's all blurry and a whole bunch of particles. That's more of going to be your dust. There's even some within the trees, but you can see the orbs specifically where they have almost like a nucleus in them versus just a plain clear dot. So it's just, from people walking around, an owl could have flown out of a tree and stirred up pollen out of the tree. So there's things like that definitely affect images and nighttime images, and they're not all orb type things. Sovereign citizen there. I definitely agree. Lighting is one of the most frustrating things ever. It just is. If you're not a drinker, it might turn you into a drinker because sometimes it's just that irritating when you're out doing pictures and like you have cloudy days or clouds going over the moon. Like it could be like, even if it's not a full moon, but then clouds go over the moon, it changes everything in your pictures.
So was this the one that you were looking for?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay.
Just
so there's
go through and get the big ones because when I'm trying to load them up, they're like that big in the file folder, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just go.
So between the last one was a pretty good image of that too, and then this, you can definitely tell where there's a difference between the dust particles and the orbs. The orbs have more of a structure. Some dust particles are more all over, and also like clusters. Humidity will do the same thing. It is a beautiful photo, definitely.
Yes. And Chair, I'm sorry, you had the question asking about the girl. So her name is Gracie. She had died, I believe she was like 5 or 6, right around Easter. Her parents were caretakers of a local hotel. And that is her grave. And I'm trying to remember how long after her dying and being buried, her family actually moved many states away due to their job. But she was known to play with everyone. Like everybody loved walking into the hotel and seeing her because she'd greet and she'd sing songs for them as they're checking in. So she was a very friendly, active little girl that would greet people in that hotel.
I think we have links. Didn't we put links up? So like the episode that we did of that, I feel like we put links in of her history and like the.
We did. What's
or
it
maybe
been?
We just shared them in the chat, maybe.
Let me see if I can go find her again, because I know if you go back and watch the YouTube, what was it, like 3-4 weeks ago we did?
Yeah.
The daytime. I know they're in that chat history. Bonaventure Cemetery, because we were even showing what the hotel had looked like before.
Right. Yeah, we did more of a whole history thing for her, for the hotel, for the cemetery. Like it was more of a history and some of the pictures.
Yeah, I'm going to share a link to the Wikipedia because Gracie has her own Wikipedia page. Like she is that well known. If I remember right, you know what? I've got her page. Let's go see. She died from an illness, pneumonia. And she died a few days or got ill a few days after Easter. Her father commissioned that monument for her. But it is in Bonaventure Cemetery down in Savannah. It is kind of one of those tourist attractions in that cemetery, although there are other famous people buried there. I say that a little loosely because some of the names, as we were going through them last time, were not people that I was very well known. But I think that there were like a couple of musicians who were really well known, like
Eons ago.
yeah. So it's kind of like, unless you were a blues musician who followed the history of the progression of that genre, like you may not know who that person was. What do you mean, Facebook? So Facebook, for some reason, had an issue with that link.
Of course, it's Facebook.
Yeah, like so yeah, Johnny Mercury.
This is a really good example of why, when you're doing paranormal walkthroughs or wanting to take pictures, whether it's a cemetery, in a building, because the same thing happens even if you're indoors. You're storing up dust. I mean, even if you have a really clean house, I'm sorry, you still have dust in your house somewhere.
Yeah.
So this is a really good example of why to take multiple pictures in the same spot at the same time, consecutive pictures, so you can pick up the different things. Of course, you'll show a lot of dust if it's a dusty area, but like a picture like this one and the one before, where it was more up in the tree, it's definitely a lot more of dust particles, air particles, pollution particles, that kind of thing. There are a couple orbs, but a lot of it is more of that being reflected.
Yeah. So if anybody has, let me put it back on the screen. If you have pictures or even short video that you would like to share for us to talk about in a respectful way, because again, safe space, we're never gonna, put it down, say that's crap, try better. We'll discuss it. If you would like to remain anonymous, just let us know, and we won't, say names or anything like that. That's an email to send it to. We can. I'm looking for our Discord invite link, because we do have a Discord, and there is a specific channel just for haunted places where you can share pictures, you can share your stories. The pictures that we go over here, I try to remember to throw up in there. So what was it? A weekend or two ago, we went over the Merry-Go-Round Museum in Sandusky. So those pictures are up there. We got some pictures of Rhodes Marketplace, which we have yet even more photos coming from that owner. So we may talk about that one next week, unless you guys are like, I got something cool.
I'm kind of still thinking about that for my birthday, to be honest. I don't know on my personal schedule how that's going to work, but I'm like, 1, I would love to come see all my friends in Ohio. 2, it would be really cool to do an event there. And 3, the paint and rage room sounds really fun. So like maybe he'll let me have my birthday there. And we can do like a whole event. And I don't know. It's something we might have to talk about, but we might actually have to discuss it and then just be like, we're going to stick to this and then work our schedules around it if we can, because we're both getting so busy that we can't end up doing things. So
yeah. So there's the Discord link, guys, in chat. So if you want to join, submit pictures, look at what we put in there. I will admit I need to go put the daytime and nighttime Gracie, because as I was scrolling through and I'm like, I never got the daytime picture in there. So shame on me. As we get more from Rhodes, we'll get those up there. I thought I put the picture up there from the House of Wills where I got 2 Glens standing there. And I'm like, why is that one not in it? So I'll have to.
I don't know if you shared that one. I mean, we've seen it. We talked about it, but I don't know if you shared that one on here. If we shared it, just when we were talking.
Okay. Well, I can always throw there's not, I've got one picture, so it wouldn't be very long in our chat, but, for any of our friends who aren't, from the Cleveland, Ohio area, who wouldn't know the House of Wills, very cool old building. The last usage of that building was as a funeral home, and the family that was running that did some very naughty things, and they were forced to shut down because they're bad. Before that, it had been a Masonic temple. It had been, I believe, a home for an orphanage. I would have to go back and really research.
There's also, in case people are going to hop in the car and go to House of Wills for this, you can't. This one is gated. The real original House of Wills with all the craziness going on is gated in. Is that locked parking lot? There is another House of Wills, like another area of Cleveland.
Oh, they tore that one down. They finally tore that one
okay.
down.
Because I know people were going there, even when we did the event, people were going there and like.
I went there.
Too at one point. Yeah, we went there and then we wanted to go in and check it out anyway, just to see like the comparison and the energies and everything. Actually inside. So, okay. So as long as that one's gone, we don't have to worry about people going to the wrong place then. Like,
yeah.
This is not. Oh,
I have not seen the night photographs of the grave of Robin Hood. I'm going to have to maybe go look for that one because that sounds like it could be interesting. But the House of Wills, honestly, I was more creeped out when we were upstairs and there was all the old jewelry and just the old things from the people that were embalmed. Yeah.
They were embalmed, yeah.
I'm like, ew, little manila envelope of gold earrings from a lady, and these never got passed on to her family.
Right.
Why? Oh, look at all of these cards that came from the hospital room or the old folks home that came with that person that was supposed to be taken care of. They're just randomly laying around. Right. Why? Like that was more.
I'm sure like some of the randomness was like people going in there over the years and just like tossing stuff around because there was like homeless people that were there for a while. They're kids used to be there. They ended up gating it in because it got so dangerous. It's like watch your step, don't fall through the floor.
They are doing a lot of work. So I went back years after, and it's been years since. I was still living in my old funeral home. That's how long ago it was. To see about doing a Marianne event there. And they're like, hey, we've got a tour coming tonight. Just come through. And at that point, the most dangerous, spooky thing was not tripping over extension cords and lighting from where they were finally putting a floor back in, under that carpet. And so they were doing a lot of work. So they're a little more active that you can go tour it and see. And then that money from the tours and stuff actually go into rehabbing the building. Because when we were there was no water, no heat, no electricity. You're walking around with flashlights. You were testing the floor to make sure there was floor under that carpet before you fell down into, because there was the basement and the sub basement. So you would technically fall.
And from the upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was really an attic or what it was. They had the rooms in it and then like split. Do you remember that? Like the walkway split and went around and then you could go down. And I think it went into the sanctuary, I believe.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering right, the floor, the layout. But yeah, it was like a really weird, like, almost going from like a bedroom into this sanctuary area and looking over the top of it. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a neat building. And then when you saw pictures of what it used to look like and the glory and the beautiful rooms to what it was when it was very sad that it got into that point. I'm looking
all the Egyptian stuff. I love the Egyptian stuff, of course.
It's so fucking random. I'm like, why? What do we?
There was no rhyme or reason to most of the stuff in there, but it was cool nonetheless.
I'm like, how do I word this to get Google to give me what I want here? I can pull that. I can go digging through the depths of my phone camera roll, find that, put it up, and talk about it. But I really do think that one of our little episodes would be, here's a good setting, here's not a good setting. Make sure you look for that. Make sure your finger's out of the way, your camera strap's out of the way.
Well, the settings part is really hard because it really does depend on what's going on. Like really like being there and seeing like what, if people are using flashlights or headlamps or is it indoors, is it outdoors? There's like the settings honestly are like a really hard thing. It's kind of like a practice and learn it and see what works. Because it varies so much. Are there street lights outside or they're not? So to be honest, I almost feel like point and shoot cameras are a little bit better for I don't know about newer ones because they also have some built-in filter type things or AI things. But more of a point and shoot or like a automatic mode definitely would be the better way to go. So your camera's automatically adjusting to things versus your settings that you're setting because that's based on You actually have to have a focal point to be able to have that. So for an image to come out clear. So
Okay.
there's so much, just so much.
Okay, cool. I will definitely be on the lookout for that. So quick question. I'm looking at a Wikipedia page for Robin Hood's monument. So is that the picture that you're talking about, the nighttime one? And if it is, like, I will download it. We'll share it maybe on one of our more shorter ones. Because like I said, my House of Wills, there's one picture, so it wouldn't be a very long talk.
Yeah.
So if that's
I'll look through mine and look for more. Because I know I had a bunch from there. Again, there's things that went MIA. So I'll look through what pictures I have too.
So Melanie wants to know when we're coming down to Savannah. We're going to have to plan. You know what? And not going to lie, like Kayla, you asked me a couple days ago, like if I started looking into the info for going to the gem show next year. And I'm like, no, but I need to, because you have to like get your Airbnb pretty early and everything.
Right.
And then I'm like, do they do gem shows down in Savannah? Like, can I rope that all in and make it even more of a,
Didn't we talk? Wasn't there a big one in the Carolinas or something that we talked about? Like maybe we should just, because we could like literally road trip there, not just like.
Yeah. So there are 2 gem warehouses, one in North Carolina, one in South Carolina. They're 2 hours apart. And at one point I'm like, I will get something right in the middle. Right. And that way it's only an hour each way. So yeah, it can't be that long of a drive from there down to Savannah. But we're plotting, Melanie, like we're seriously plotting. We will figure out a way.
I would miss Arizona, but closer would be good.
Yeah, right. Chairs like, so all the ghosts have hot Instagram face filters with pouty lips and big eyes. And it's funny because, you think of like maybe the ghost filter would be that wispy flowing standing on the stairs, right? Because for the longest time, it seemed like every old building had the woman in white who was always on the stairs.
The woman in white or the woman in black?
Yeah, right.
Photography is pretty white and black, so.
And then I remember laughing at one point. I'm like, oh, here's a lady in gray. Finally, we got a woman in gray. She's like, screw your white, I'm in gray. And I think she was maybe the Myrtles Plantation lady. But it was down in Louisiana. Then I'm like, go you broke that trend. You're the lady in gray, and I'm here for it. But yeah, if you have pictures, even if you're not sure and you just want, some other eyes, feel free to send them there. You can also put it up in the Discord. That'll be there. We have other fun stuff in the Discord, like you can get a random tarot pool, you can get a random little Magic 8 Ball, thing just for giggles, because why not? But there's a lot of cool stuff that you can find under that woo-woo umbrella in there to do. We will. I'll let you know, Melanie, and that last group of pictures you sent me, I've got your email, so I can get a hold of you. It's one of these, because here's one folded picture send, and then here's the other picture send. So one of these has your email in it. But I will definitely let you know.
Vacation would be really nice too, though. Not gonna lie, like just whatever that entails of doing nothing and just vacationing. I want that for at least a couple days.
I have learned that the universe is a very, very fickle bitch. Mm-hmm. When I try to plan personal time, it always falls through. Be it suddenly every employee is sick and here comes the doctor note, so they're not making it up. Here, something outside of my control.
Medical things, the car, something every single time.
But if it's work related, I can go do it. So right. That's where I'm like, if there's a show, even if it's a small one or a warehouse that I can say I need to restock on, and for whatever reason, I have to go all the way to Savannah to make it, like, it will happen. So that's where I have to be tricky back to the universe and be like, fine, I am going for work, and I'm only going for one day for 3 hours. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Workation trips. Throw the work in there.
Yeah, I have to be just as tricky back, and I'm sure there are some silly little energetic block that I have on myself for that or something. Like, I'm sure it's there, and once I figure out, I will fix it. But in the meantime, I play that game with
Okay.
you about it. Um, did I see the one of Gracie that has double image? Nighttime one. I'm assuming you mean nighttime, right? Right. So I'm gonna go through them. Doop-a-doo. Because I think okay, yes, it's one of the night times. That is veterans. Doop-a-doop-doo. Um, talk amongst yourselves while I
You want me to sing for you guys?
right.
We'll lose all of our audience.
Like, and we're out. You don't want to sing very
I'm
well.
looking to see what I have for House of Wills saved on my phone, but I know that one I'm pretty sure I transferred to a flash drive. It's just gonna be a matter of finding it, or if they disappeared with the other things that disappeared in this house. So
Yeah, let's see. So, I was looking for the double expo. Look above her. Look carefully and slowly. I'm gonna flip through.
was it the
one?
one? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, was it one of the more darker ones? Because I know we hadn't shown yet, like the brighter one, not double exposure, the double image. So it is one of the darker ones. So let me go through again. Because I think.
Hold on up on my and that's another tricky thing because that can happen from motion blur. So it's so hard, especially with nighttime photography.
That's above her head. I know there were a couple where there was like the little, like the one that was her family.
I'm not sure if I transfer them all to my messages. So I'm going back to.
Was it a more close up one?
Do you by chance have? Oh, you wouldn't be able to show it to us. Never mind. I was going to say, do you by chance have it that you could show it to us? I'm looking through all of mine too. Right.
Yeah. I'm sitting here like, mm-hmm. I will say, I just now noticed this one. I don't know, probably not. So this one, turn this light off. Now I look old and haggard. Ignore that.
Join the club.
Right? See?
Okay, so that's one where I saw her parents in it.
But there is like this little, it's like orange in the original here. And I think I may have had to have cut that out because as we see the lighting image. So not that one. Okay. Doop-a-doop-doo. If I don't see it this time, Melanie, I'll look through again and I'll resend them
Right,
to
separate.
Sheila and we'll definitely bring it up again.
These ones are daytime ones. The ones I'm looking at now, I feel like, are daytime. You said it was nighttime, right? So.
Yeah, and it's one of the darker ones. So it's not the brighter ones that were part of the.
I don't have it in the ones that I have. I'm not seeing a double.
Is it one of the ones where there is kind of like the blurriness in front of her? Oh, thank you, Chair.
I was looking at the older ones too, but I'm not seeing it. But I don't know if I have them all.
Okay, so it is one of the ones where we have a little bit of a blur going. Okay. I'm going to make a separate pile. Blurry, non-blurry. Is this one that we had? It's not. Where is it? I'm
not. Yeah, I didn't see it in the ones that I have. I don't know if you sent me every one or just.
I think at one point, like I was trying to send a bunch to you, and for some reason in the text, it's like you've reached your limit. I'm like, well, you got most of them, but watch it be one of the ones that didn't come over. I'm trying to see. Hi, Rosie.
I'm trying to see here.
Yeah, because I had to, as I said earlier, like take pictures of it, try and negate the lighting that's in here.
Right.
Doop-a-doo. And to say, I think this one may have been somewhat of a close-up. I think that was the one with her parents a little bit closer, so we'll negate that one out.
I know. I wish they could hold up the pictures to show us what we're.
So there's this one, and again, this lighting that we may not have shown. Okay, so she says, yes, this one. And you know what? Give me a second, because just to make sure we have this one up to put on the screen for everybody, I'm going to remove all the other ones and get it up there. And then that way I know we're showing the right one. Doop-a-doop. Bear with me. Okay. Let's see how to.
Here we go with that lighting conversation.
Yep, I'll be back. Talks amongst yourselves.
Oh, she just disappeared to take a picture for us. Were those all taken on the same day, Melanie? Same day, same night? I personally am a Canon girl, so I have a couple Canon cameras. My newest one, which is actually not super new, is a 6D, but that's I focus more on nature photography, so I don't use super high-end things. Yes, I used to actually do that. I kind of miss doing the black room thing. I was just talking to some people about that. I miss doing the black room developing, and I actually used to work for a photographer that did sports photography. And until I started doing more of the nature photography, I didn't realize how big of a difference there was between like cameras and lenses and different settings, all that kind of thing. And like I said before, nighttime photography is like a really tricky thing. I've kind of like backed off on the equipment I buy because I had a major spine surgery. So holding these things up are pretty heavy. And obviously having to carry tripods and monopods or things like that is also inconvenient at the time. So I don't know. I might add into my collection at some point.
Okay. We might see my
Well,
finger.
that's the thing. It's not really practical. It's so easy to just send image to print or print them at home. But yeah, definitely older cameras pick up some cool things. I actually have one of my dad's old Canon cameras from like the early, I think like 1972, I believe. But film's getting more expensive. The batteries are getting harder to find to run the camera. But yeah, definitely difference in like just point and shoot cameras versus DSLR cameras, phone cameras. Like I said a little bit ago, like some of the newer point and shoot cameras also have like built-in things where they take out distortions in pictures. So sometimes the more basic the better. Even like recording devices as far as paranormal goes, a lot of paranormal people like basic phone recorders, but now those are coming with so much sound filtering that you're not picking up the ambient sounds that you would normally be picking up if and subliminal sounds, I guess I should say, if you would be using a cheaper, more basic recorder.
Okay, so image file, boop-a-doop. I had to go in my hallway, stand at an angle so I'm going to tell you that spot up there. I'm doing this like you can see where I'm pointing, but right above at that top, that's lighting. You see part of my shoulder. Ignore that. That is here. So
we need
it's
to
fun
figure out how to get a pointer on here where we can like move the mouse and like point on the actual pictures.
Right. If it would let us like almost like in a Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what you mean, Melly, or how it's around on either side of her head, because that's easier to see, bigger on the screen in a way than here on the picture. So look up of her head. Do you see it above her head, Kayla?
I'm actually trying to zoom in my screen. Is what I'm trying to like try to zoom in the whole.
Don't take this, Melanie, if I don't see it, because I am also one of those people. Remember those magic eye pictures? Like I could never do those.
I'm a firm believer too that different people can see different things in a picture. I mean, it really just does happen. A lot of times I go by feel when it comes to these kind of things.
And now I feel like I'm trying too hard, so I'm not going to see it.
I'm honestly not, like I see the blur around her, but I'm not seeing the double of her head.
And this might even be one of those like do a quick
pulse or pores as I'm like, you know, screen. Hello. I did brush my teeth. Okay.
It's just her face.
I am also not seeing it, but again, doesn't mean that you can't see it or not in the actual image or those kind of things. So if anybody else can see it, that feel free to chime in also if you're seeing it.
And I'm sure once I can finally see it, it's going to be like, holy cow moments. Like, why couldn't I have seen that before? Said it's just her face. I did not. No flash, honestly, in the hallway. So there was none of these lights. And I even turned to make sure the, wow, words are hard today. The little like wax melter, light wasn't, causing anything. But it was just enough light, as you can see, like my shoulder, you know, but that gray is like how dark it is in there. So my son even came out and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to take a picture." And he's like,
Mind
"Of a
your
picture."
business.
And I'm like, "Yes, a picture of a picture. Leave me alone." um, but I'm gonna definitely keep looking, and I'm sure once I finally can see it, I'm like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" Just on the right of the statue image, there seems to be half a head reflected.
Yeah, I do see a little bit on the right side, but I don't know. There's a little bit of blur to the image. I don't know if it's just the print that made the blur or if it was like camera movement.
Yeah, so she's saying like in that area that you're.
I mean, it's not far off to the head. It's almost like it's overlapping like part of the head and over.
Mm-hmm. And maybe because of the books I've been reading, you know, some monster smut, I will say, um, because it won't let me circle up here. She
The
said
only
just
thing
above
I'm
her
kind of
head.
seeing is to the right of her head, but not above. I'm zooming back in again. Don't mind
What
my face up in your business here.
what head I thought I was seeing? It had nothing to do with Gracie. Um, like the light, like I was seeing like an antelope, you know, shape in the bush. Um, so she says to the left of my print. So um, this is not reversed. So when it, you know, as I'm holding, the left is the left shown on the screen. I purposely make sure you see it as I'm holding it. So when we say left or right on the picture, it matches. Um, just above her head to the left. Yeah, how long of an exposure was used? Here's the old lady eyes, right? So bigger on the screen, pull the bifocal down, get all up in the screen, everybody's business. Like, do you like looking at my face? Because it's up here in your face. Um, I'm going to keep playing with it. And when I can finally see it, I will like mark it on the one on the computer and be like, here we go. But very, very cool. No, I thank you, Melanie, for sharing your Bonaventure Cemetery pictures. I still have yet to find that photo album of all of the pictures from behind Fort Campbell on the back 40 and see if I can find those couple where the lady's standing there. Because those were cool. I have a lot of cemetery pictures because, you know, that's what we used to do in the day.
Right.
We didn't go party and drinking and everything else. We would go sit in
We went and looked
cemeteries.
for dead things.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, how many of those random pictures that I took just because I thought it was a pretty picture might have something in there that I didn't even notice at that time. I'm like, I need to spend some time looking through those, I think. But, you know, let me go look and see if our friend from Sri Lanka, I know I asked him if the picture that is on the Wikipedia page for Robin Hood, if that was the nighttime picture he was asking about. Because if it is, I can definitely download that and we can talk about it.
I added you while we were on our little hiatus there for Christmas. I added you to my House of Wills album, but I know I have other pictures somewhere because I only shared a couple to Facebook.
Okay.
So, I think it may have changed. I don't know because I had somebody else, as somebody that could add the pictures, and I tried to add you to the album, and I think it got rid of his pictures. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but
Okay.
no, they might all be there actually. we'll see. You'll just have to look from your end and let me know if you can see all of them.
Is it like a Google Drive that you?
No, it's on Facebook, a Facebook album that I had.
Oh, okay, I'll go
So
look for
on
that.
the Kirby page, my paranormal people page.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely go look at that. Right, the afterlife is more engaging than most with its secrets to hide in the real life. It's fun in that, talking about that, like Marianne, I remember her saying like she would go out to people's houses to help them clear out the ghosts. And she's like, you get these chatty catty ghosts who, because nobody can talk with them or interact with them, show up because they finally find somebody that can hear and talk with them. And she's like, they want to spill the town gossip. And she's like, I don't care who's sleeping with who and doing what and what happened here. And she's like, go away. I'm trying to help this family. And
yeah, that definitely happens.
So that always made me laugh when she would bring it up. And then when she would talk about like ghosts in church and like the things that they would say and do, like, and she's like, you're in a church. What are you talking about? That's hilarious.
That would be us. I remember one time I went on a walking tour in Williamsburg, and I could see this guy being like basically like a prankster and a jester, like behind the guy that's giving the tour. So I'm like, I just cackled and burst out laughing in the middle of this tour, and everybody's looking at me. And I'm like, really, nobody else sees the guy like juggling and joking around and like playing behind this guy that's giving a tour, all serious, like a history tour thing. And my cousin's like, what's going on? I'm like, you don't. Like, really, nobody else is seeing this guy. So I ended up saying something. I'm like, so what about this guy that's like walking around? They're like, oh yeah, like he's been noted by like other people, but I've never experienced him. Like, you just did, because he was like literally just behind you on your shoulders and like everything else. So like you did just experience him. You weren't paying attention.
Well, I've already told the readers at Goddess Elite that like if something were to happen, I'm going to come mess with them while they're doing readings. I am so going to mess with them just because it's going to be amusing to me and probably to them too. But, and then they'll probably yell at me like, I am trying to do a paid reading. And I'm like, and they can't see me. So I plan on having fun before I walk off into the light and take care of a few people that need to be pushed down the stairs. Like, I don't know.
Amen.
Like pedophiles. We don't
like
know why.
In the bathtub, I don't know, something.
Yeah. You like to
how
touch
did that
poster
kids? Get in there?
Yeah. As my friend Sandy and I called it, was going to be their Earthbound Hit Squad. She unfortunately decided to join that squad before me. I'm still mad at her about it. How dare she? So that was one reason why some of the Woo Woo Wednesday evening readings, I haven't really gotten around to bringing them back because she's not here to do it with me. So maybe at some point we'll bring it back and I'll be a part of it. Just not the same without her.
No.
I'm going to be a ghost that they make movies about. Probably. Thank you, Melanie. You have piqued my interest to get out more with ghosted expression. Yeah. I've been hinting at her. I just talked with her about a week ago. She's going to be with us at the Earth and Spirits. So if you're local, or Wine and Spirits, Earth and Spirits, you can come hang out with her. She's got a lot on her plate right now. So I check in with her. We chit chat, make sure she's doing okay. But yeah,
she's earned her time off. Also, she's put in a lot of energy. She deserves to relax and enjoy things a bit.
Yeah, I may even try while she's there, maybe even to go live if I can step away from the ticket table and be like, Marianne, your people miss you. Yeah. So we'll see. She's got a lot on her plate right now. I'm like, you're not doing retirement correctly at all. You're not relaxing as you should, but it's not because she's doing work stuff out. She's just got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So,
she's doing
it's a fun event. We love doing it. And here recently I've had a few other breweries like reach out and want to try and do something similar. Nice. So, we may expand that a little bit. Too much fun.
Get a camper and keep you know, so I can keep going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Or make your son move out so I have a room.
No, I didn't see any kittens. I didn't get to see any kittens. But yeah, we may be expanding the wine and spirits to some places around. And so, hi, everybody. So we do Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Paranormal discussion. Today, we went over the nighttime pictures that Melanie sent in from the Bonaventure Cemetery down in Savannah, Georgia. Maybe about 3 weeks ago, we did the daytime pictures, and she's like, "But wait, I have nighttime," and I'm like, "Great, let's compare." So, if you have pictures or short video that you would like to share with us to go over, it is a safe space to share that. We are not going to put you down and say that was dumb. Why did you send it? You know, feel safe in submitting. If you want to remain anonymous, maybe because friends, family members, or even coworkers kind of follow around, let us know and we will not say your name. But yeah, Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. paranormal discussion. So the drinks are optional. Yeah, you don't have to drink alcohol.
Yeah. You don't even have to drink water if you don't want to. Like, the readings in the bar part are separate kind of thing. So.
Yeah. It was called Wine and Spirit. It still is called Wine and Spirits currently because we started it at a winery.
Yeah.
And COVID came around. We had grown it when COVID let us redo the event. Then the winery sold anyway. So we are now at a wedding banquet center, which is great because now we get to be indoors. We don't care what the weather does outside. We're not getting rained on. And there's enough parking for everybody. Whereas at the winery, like, we had outgrown them to the point that people were parking along the road and down. They were getting fined by the city from it happening. So, and they're like, we don't care. We're making enough to pay your fine and still come out on top, you know, so they didn't care, but it just got to be, we needed to move it. So, but yeah.
We have to get going though. So,
okay. Yes.
Sorry, everybody, but I have to go. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Hop out and I'll take us out. So yeah, join us Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Paranormal discussion. If you have pictures or videos you would like to share, please send it to the info@Goddess Elite. Let us know if you want to remain anonymous. Or if you have questions about the paranormal or other things that you're new or you don't understand, or like, how does this make sense? You can send those in too, and we will go over it. But thank you for joining us. Hopefully we can see you again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. But bye, guys. Thanks for joining.